the ancient world. We're having a look at time travel, a bit of therapy, a bit of a break, medicine, and also a Hollywood idea, the book of goblin knowledge. We're synchronized. We're synchronized, ladies and gentlemen. We're synchronized. Just having a bit of a sit down, and also not just a sit down. Just want to say how proud I am of my country, how proud I am of my family and friends. Also, want to talk about life today, but really, we're synchronized. Synchronized on television, on YouTube, and also a special episode to pay the debts off. Not only physically, also mentally, break barriers. We're going to try to conquer all of the big problems. Well, this is not a blood bandana. Of course, I love my neighborhood. Of course, I love my country. But I'm not talking about myself. So I'll try to be as fast as I can. So it's a bit of a cheat. It's also like how you've cheated everybody. The black blanket, a pirate culture. I want to say how beautiful New Zealand is, how beautiful islanders are, how beautiful Maori people are. Also want to cheat a bit. Talk about New Zealand and how I love where I live. I love my neighborhood. I love the opportunity to teach people English, and we're synchronized. Coming by fret. This is technology of the modern world. But I guess, like the ancient world, you've got all of these bandanas and things, which is not to hurt people. It's more like a biker gang fight, only better. Sells itself. A bit of economics. So I guess it's relationship therapy. I know it's late at night. So we're synchronized because for the first time in our life, I guess we're up against the black blanket. Times are tight. All the greatest empires, they need 5 minutes. This 5 minutes is a bit of technology coming by Fred. So we're synchronized like Hollywood. Technology, NASA, economics, quantum physics. But not this episode. This episode, we want to try to conquer the main problems. So we've got our red bandana. That's not to cause trouble. It's for biker gangs, actually. How proud I am of biker gang members and proud of white people. And not just that, we're going to try to follow the script, which I guess sounds stupid. It's like the ancient world. So I guess Polynesia is beautiful. So is a lot of places. So we want to focus on what we have. New Zealand, Australia, Maori people. Not only Maori people, a bit of America. Try to talk to old people to try to loosen up the harsh things on the ship because that's what it is, a ship. And I'm talking because I've got a history with super yachts from Sensation, Alloy Yachts, how proud I am of my job. Working on super yachts has made me a good leader to the community, taught me a lot of things with Samoan people, islanders, just how beautiful Sensation is, Alloy Yachts, mainly West Auckland, and how nice New Zealand is. Well, we're going to follow the plan, like Sovereign Yachts, a super yacht company, Dominion, Hawkins, these are all professional apex predators, Hells Angels, Banditos, how proud I am of my friend. So I guess it's a bit of a market where we get to sit down, time travel, and we're synchronized. So that's only 3.5 minutes. Just want to say how beautiful Polynesian women are, how beautiful islanders are, how amazing New Zealand is. Maori people, they're fierce warriors. They know everything about books. And just like the ancient world, they got a history with all the greatest empires Alexander the Great, Napoleon, ancient pharaohs, Egypt, Aztecs, Americans, Inuits, Cheyennes, South Americans, white people. It's all introduced. Even the original nature from North Island to South Island is actually kauri tree. Kauri tree, which I guess for Maori people, they got thousands of tribes, so many Maori kings. I look left, I look right. There's a bit of comedy. I'm better than you. So a bit of things for New Zealand, rugby, league, all of these things, they come from cannibals. It's the head, soccer, basketball, Aztec people. That's how amazing South America is. South America and North America are different. That means they got a history with New Zealand. So we're coming on television just to tell the true story, how people are suffering. And I guess America is more than a destination. How proud I am of my friends. And if anybody believes people, I believe people. So we're synchronized. And that's only 5 minutes. So we're going to follow the script. like a decent company, a company in New Zealand, Hawkins, Dominions, Sensation. There's so many good people. Just how beautiful brown skinned people are, how amazing and beautiful Polynesia is, New Zealand, and mainly Fiji, the Pacific island. How proud I am of my Tongan friends. Just how mistaken white people are and how one sided it is with the world flooded. How many people throw away junk? What is it, junk? Goblins, vampires, professionals. Only professionals could handle us. So I guess we're trying to be professional. Captain Cook, the Portuguese, French, English, they've all come to Aotearoa and been cut off from the outside world. Just like Maori people, they were cut off from where they came from, found themselves facing Tangaroa, the mighty ocean, the killer sharks. I know there's no animals, but they've got a history with lizards, the closest relative of dinosaurs. And not only dinosaurs, I guess it's a bit funny. It's always at the end. The end when you're synchronized. And I guess that's 6 minutes. That's the only time you have with a professional because a lot of Polynesians, Maori people, they're not so bad. They're not African, but they have a history with Africans. Also, America, Jamaica, Rastafari, Ganja, and a whole lot of things that people misunderstood about being a powerful nation. It's about community. So, I guess as an empire, it's a nightclub, a place to sit down. After all, it's a tinny house. A tinny house where you should open yourself. You want to be the better person? Well, let's follow the professional Portuguese, the French, Captain Cook. They've all been to New Zealand, the Polynesian islands, Hawaiians. It's very beautiful. And you can see by the skeletons and all of these things, masters of with woodwork, carvings, tattoos. Well, they've got a history with Thailand. Well, I've seen this with my own eyes. They've got a history with the world that easily with a waka they could have sailed around the world, but not right now. Now is just how proud I am of Zimbabwe, the government, Mudiwa, our government in New Zealand, how hard they're working. So I guess it's not a comedy. It's a one-sided world where most people they feel like your wife is not beautiful, or they feel like these things don't exist. So probably what I'm talking about is look, there's another professional. So we need to back up our ideas. We got a history with Maori people, a history with Africans. I'm not going to focus on myself. I'll try to say how beautiful Zimbabwe is, how high school is so important. English is a good language. But there's another professional, a professional who could be ripping the system, and that's not the problem. I guess it's all junk when you're making trillions of dollars. But of course, it's the Arctic island. The closest neighbor is Antarctica and Australia. We need to change our ideas. Change now. A lot of people have come to Aotearoa. You try to use books, plans that don't work out. You've been cut off like Napoleon. And we're synchronized. That's just 10 minutes, a bit of medicine, how to sit down, let your blood circulate, and instead of trying to work all the time, it's like an office job, only a marketplace in the ancient world. So we'll have a bit of meditation and a bit of peace and quiet. What I'm talking about is this is a picture of the ancient world, apex predator. So we're trying to do something for women, children, men, the community, islanders, and where we live is a beautiful place. So I'm not going to stop. Well, then, New Zealand is the most beautiful place in the world, far spectacular than the Caribbean. Obviously, you haven't been to an island, then you'll never understand how beautiful Samoan people are or how beautiful Maori people are. You'll always make decisions like every other foreigner. I guess we've been cut off. So we're following the book like a bit like ancient world. It's the frontier, Gladiator, Aquaman, Transformers. So I guess New Zealand is a bad place. But how many places are bad? There's beautiful brown people, beautiful Maori people, things that you need to respect and change. Aotearoa, the French, an amazing place. My friends are definitely amazing warriors. They're more than my friends. They become my family. This is our story, our dream, how we live in our village, how we had the opportunity to change the world, and how I wish I could have their guidance, their confidence, not just their guidance, they also give advice. They're not just colored people. But I guess America is beautiful. It's just like America. It's like the ancient world, where you live in the Skrilla is more than your friend, is your territory, your community. And that's the first 10 minutes. So I'm just going to say, look, you've got influences that influence people the wrong way. So we want to do something good. Well, I guess Captain Cook is the closest white man. They've been on this island for a long time, from the dinosaur age. That doesn't make them stupid. They've got their own technology, a fast place to live where you've got every opportunity, thousands of islands, islands with resorts, super yachts, so beautiful from Fiji to every Polynesian island. You won't imagine what you're missing. I guess for the Arctic, that's Antarctica. The biggest, closest relative is the mountains, the ice age. It's easily the weather. Here you've got to hunker down. Don't worry about the big problems. Realize you're stuck. So it's like a boyfriend for a girlfriend. So it's like, of course I love my girlfriend. Of course I love my children. But the opportunity to bring law and order, English, that's 11 minutes. That's the only time you have with a cannibal, a dinosaur, a vampire, apex predator. So they're professional, right? I guess for the history of the world, Maori people, they seem to know Africans. They definitely understand technology. They say the Maori people, they're so big, they're giants. Well, I guess Taro is a steroid, and so is Sadza. But definitely, my Maori friends are not difficult to understand. But I guess English speaking Maori people, they seem to think it's easy. Nothing's easy. All the greatest empires, the ancient world, Romans, Greeks, philosophers, Plato, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Julius Caesar, before Julius Caesar, Babylon, the Aztecs, Cheyenne, all these cultures have one life. Death is inevitable. I think nature is the best way to go because New Zealand, nature is priceless. And nature is capable of changing. You live on an island continent. Closest relatives are dinosaurs. You need to change your ideas now. So I guess it's a bit of a cheat. So that's just the first 12 minutes. So we're talking about the world, the history, British people, how nice England is, how much influence the British have brought, and just how living in New Zealand can be so scary. You're living with Native Americans. Tobacco is not original. Neither is ganja. Ganja is so nice. The world is all we have. Of course, I'm proud of my Maori friends. They're more than my friends, they're inspiration. It's sort of like you're living in the ancient world. You've got settlements, villages. So you need to change your whole idea. It sounds horrible, but sometimes swapping tea bags and simple trinkets is all the local people need. Obviously, they're living in a guerrilla struggle. So instead of trying to treat people better, try to admit you've got a mental problem. Admitting you've got a mental problem is going to make all the things better. Because if you're mental, then aren't we all mental? Then I guess there's a way inside the mind. But inside the mind, I guess the world is amazing. Life is beautiful even for Arctic Polynesia. It's a continent island. Too many people are cut off. Just like banditos, biker gangs, you get cut off and you're just a foreigner. But for a foreigner, I guess it's like council. Dinosaurs, a history with the world, amazing things in New Zealand, sharks, animals that you would never believe with medicine is as simple as just closing the book. Trying to copy the foreigners seems like the black blanket is not a map, but somewhere in this one sided world, which I guess is full of horrible people, but I guess with trillions of dollars, we want the best of India, the best of America, which means it's a bit funny, but we've only got another 15 minutes. Of course, I love my village. Of course, I love my islander girlfriend. Of course, I love my high school. Kelston Boys and Eaglesville is so amazing and just put so much education in my mind. And that's what's made me so powerful because neuroscience, quantum physics, Indians are the best minds, but economics, they don't understand. It's a bit of street science. It's also medicine. to cure your back pain, try to cure your blood flow, sitting down, standing up. There's a systematic pattern. So if there's a systematic pattern, you don't need to be a scientist. That means there's some sort of map, an alternate world. Life seems too simple. It's too easy. Sometimes you need to sit down, admit how beautiful Africa is, how amazing South Africa is, how good rugby is, how amazing the world has changed, and people could have died. People could have died in a spider web. A spider web doesn't seem original, but that's the apex predator. New Zealand is not a pushover, not for the Middle Ages, not for alien races, and not for any empire. But I guess, like any government, you need some sort of mechanic shop, a hospital, a place where it's open to everybody, even yourself. After all, it's a trap house, a tinny house. So you're spoiling the magic. But I guess with the power is the power of a vampire. So, yes, everybody, that's halfway of our episode, the English lecture. Also, how to use witchcraft, simple witchcraft, how to make friends with Polynesians, local tactics, gimmicks, economics, and also it's to pay the debt off. It's simple, it's faster, and anyway, it's like a biker gang. That means they're involved in something they can't get out of. Well, then, like a biker gang, there's different rules. So it's also rule making because we need a change now. And we need a change because looking in the evidence, I guess people are right. If anybody believes everyone, I do. You've got Maori people, so much evidence years before Polynesians came here. There was life here. So I guess something extremely dangerous, very horrible exists, vampires, goblins, but there's no greater goblin than yourself. Sometimes an adventure is needed. So it's a bit of a challenge for poetry. It seems like it's impossible, but poetry, the greatest poets write down stuff. So it's a challenge for old people, gang members, the police, try to copy the foreigners. But before that, I guess kauri trees from North Island to South Island is the original nature. The farms, the white people, they all came here because Polynesian islands are beautiful, but not for everybody. I guess they have a history with islands, they swim in the ocean. That could be just a fraction of life in the ocean. So I guess that's 17 minutes. So for the first time, we're synchronized. So I guess it's beautiful places, but there's no place like New Zealand. Kauri trees from the top to the bottom, fierce warriors, cannibals that had a battle with aliens. So many problems have happened. Why are we giving people the opportunity? Because I guess it's medicine for women. Also, let the mind heal. Understand that men are bitches. Also, men are just afraid. But I guess it's a bunker. Trenches of Afghanistan. Of course, I love my brother, but the opportunity to bring law and justice, bring technology to the universe. The world is all we have. Sometimes, if you're going to die, is not a problem. With neuroscience, you can create a world that's endless because life is for children. You got to teach young people. Obviously, I've got children, and obviously everybody is afraid of the floods, which is the black blanket, is a spider web, which I guess like a battle, a spider web where I guess instead of trying to run, make the most of the opportunity. So it's an English lecture. It's medicine. It'll get oxygen in the lungs. You get to sit down, have a break. And it's also a bit of philosophy. Philosophy from Africans, which I guess for colored, they probably look at me like I'm a foreigner. I guess we're all foreigners, but that's brand new. Brand new, I don't do. But I guess this is economics. An economics lesson, and in this life, you do as much as you can because they're not my friends. They're my family, my people, and that's a whole lot of things about being a king and a queen because there's no empire with no people. You're blaming everybody, and what if it's the very danger? Too many times people want to underestimate biker gangs or think that people are a bunch of animals. But that, I guess, is another lesson. And just going with the book is enough ammunition to take over the world. And that's how I've made billions of dollars. That same simple strategy has worked for Vietnamese soldiers and American soldiers, trench to trench fighting. And countless times people say, "Who are you talking to?" Well, that's a bit of witchcraft. And ladies and gentlemen, we're on the 20 minutes of an English lecture, a bit of apologies culture, talking about Maori culture, how cannibals, they used to eat people. Makes you a bit afraid. So I guess we're stuffed. But with this technology, I guess also it's sort of like, Africa, the big game hunter. So it's also a bit of technology. How guns, guns are easily available, but this is customizable. So I guess we're going to need a gun. So it's also like our own archives, a bit of evidence, just in case it turns into a gunfight, because he's the boss around here. So it's not about snitching, it's about paying the debts off. And easily the debts will be paid off. It's a bit of technology, just how easy they seem like they're so dangerous, but they're not. Maybe we're being too horrible. So you're not supposed to spoil it for anyone. So I guess it's a nightclub. Also for old people, you don't need to be afraid because I guess we're all skeletons. We're all dead people. And I guess the book of goblin knowledge is also like poetry, a bit of an art gallery, a Celtics, a gas station for everyone. But I guess with these guns is how men became so dangerous all around the world, all around America. People think that technology doesn't exist. Well, it's out there. That's brand new. But like the ancient world, you've got to do something for the frontier, even your enemies. And that's an influencer or being a celebrity or somebody that's like a biker gang fight. You can see how long a battle takes. Well, there's a lot of things you can do. You can support society or you can innovate technology. It's just a dream of a village where people dream they could have all the people in their life back from high school, all the good people. How a lot of people think that you're not a gangster. It's just a dream of people in Braeside, Zimbabwe, the Skrilla, all over the world. But that was the ancient world. And this is the modern world where I guess too many people give up on society. They're too racist to themselves. You need to appease the spirits and also try to do a bit of magic for your girlfriend, your community. Tell women they're a bit beautiful. Tell African women, and in general, do something else than be a gangster. Well, I guess that's 22 minutes. So I guess it's a bit of technology. Easily with guns. Guns are going to solve our problems. But this is customizable, which means the war in Russia will end. But you don't want to. I'm talking about the lockdown. I'm talking about how it's therapy, right? So it's also science, medicine. Easily you can recover any disease. All you need to do is stand up, sit down, know when to talk, and it's like swapping technology. Because obviously I love where I live. But the first thing to do, pay the debt off. Pay the favors off. It's just a favor of billions of people. Obviously, we're celebrities. Obviously, we're famous. Sometimes, it sounds like it's horrible. But that's another episode. So that's another episode of idea that we want to make for Hollywood for a movie. The ancient world, the spice market, and it's also like a gym, medicine for women, pregnant women, and that's synchronized. Synchronized like James Bond. People say, "What are your secrets?" Secrets are meant to be sold. They're not supposed to be told. But that's another story. A story for all the influencers that need ideas. Sometimes the best idea is right under your nose. New Zealand is an opportunity for a lot of people. But right now, we want the best. We want the best of the world because the world needs law and order. And if you want to bring law and order, listen to what I'm saying. I know it sounds horrible, but maybe that's the horrible thing because you're taking away the magic. And the magic is supposed to be something else. So we're just going for 30 minutes. It's a bit of a relationship, how I love my girlfriend, how I do anything for the opportunity. The opportunity to change my society, my country, or pay the debts off. Try to do something substantial. which I guess it does exist. So it's more than a city, more than a culture. Then I guess for people in my country, they probably look at me like I'm a bandit, a person from another world. Well, I guess that's 25 minutes. So if it was a battle, we could have lost. We could have been dead, and we worried about so many things when all we should worry about is what we have. And just like that, made trillions of dollars, and it's that simple. You don't need to be too sophisticated. Inching forward is Napoleon. Inching forward is our army. The black blanket has taken over Barack Obama's political election. Kamala Harris, all these things, they have to come from somewhere. But if you give up on the wood or you give up on the village, well, you've given up the best technology, and that's television. Television on YouTube. That's another 26 minutes. So the last 4 minutes, we're just going to look inside our lecture here and talk about New Zealand to the Portuguese to cloud seeding and people in the Amazon. Obviously, they got a relationship with South Americans. Maybe that's why they're so beautiful. But after that, I guess we're looking at the world today and technology. Easily behind the blanket, something is hidden. But instead of trying to be hidden, do something for the community. Pay the debts off. Try to do a technology that's a medicine better than medicine. Because there's no better medicine than the local Africans, which I guess Lion King, it's ideology. It's more than a village. It's more than a neighborhood. It's our territory. And we're reaching the subscription episode because you've got episodes of nonsense that you're selling to so many people. So we're making episodes, well, not to be troublemakers, because you have episodes. Episodes of stuff on the internet that are influencing too many people. So it's a bit of business ethics, how to come back in business, and how to deal with professionals, timing yourself. So it's a bit of security, countermeasures. Because I guess you can play my stuff, it can give you a diversion. You can blame me or try to do it like a distraction. So you can distract people. Nobody's going to think you crazy if you're talking to someone. Just play my stuff. That'll definitely give some witchcraft. So definitely, we're living on a sacred ground. It's a bit late at night, but I will move on to another subject. Talking to yourself has made me successful in Hollywood and a lot of things, but being greedy is the biggest mistake of every culture. And if you're living in an island where there's too many mouths to feed, then I would say open a market because it's a trap house, isn't it? So you've got a point. But once again, I'm just giving you the point of view that's from the inside of the tiger dome, the inside of the dream where the decisions are made. And like the ancient world, if it's a battle, well, there's your battle. 30 minutes of this won't only sort you out, it'll open your mind to the point where you can see it's one-sided. So it's an English lecture, it's a bit of witchcraft, it's also culture. And there's no better culture than the world. So I guess it's like a relationship. So you need to treat your woman better. You need to treat your people better. Then maybe there won't be desertion. Because at the end of this little speech is when it's going to happen. From beginning to end is a battle. What I learned is the end. After the whole night, the end is when you get ambushed. And I guess it's also like a bit of warfare. Instead of trying to be the better person, try to be the hero. Try to be a marketplace, and that has made me opportunity. And what I'm talking about is we're synchronized, so it is possible that professionals are after people. So I better pack up my show and just finish like I guess you need the power of a vampire. But I guess out of all places, I'm talking about our story. And that's another episode. Another episode of werewolves, vampires, folklore, and also the ancient world. A spice market billions and billions of years ago. I'm reaching the 30-minute mark, an English lecture, medicine, and also trading and exchanging technology. Thanks, everybody. DJ Slaydem, another episode, another 900 trillion.